Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to distinguish between data analyst, data engineer and data scientist. So what they will do normally in their day-to-day activities. So what are all their responsibilities, how we can differentiate between these three roles. So many of us, we may get some idea about the data analyst, but we do not know the exact differentiate between those three roles, correct? So here I'm going to tell you the exact the task, the skills that required to become a data analyst and a data scientist and data engineer as well. So yes, without no further delay, let's get started. And this is Priya Talks. I'm making a video through my experience. Do subscribe my channel, hit the bell icons, will get a notification. So all right. So first of all, let's begin with like a data analyst. So what the data analyst will do? So what are all their tasks normally? So here we are not talking about like one table data or like single page data or single page Excel sheet. So we are talking about like tons of data, millions of data, trillions of data, right? So for analyzing those data, so it's some way to do that, correct? So we can't randomly go and sit at one place and analyze the data. So we have to analyze the data based upon the situations and use cases, requirements and scenarios. So when I say the use case, let's say we'll take an example called like airline. So we have a Indigo, right? So Indigo airline having like multiple flights, so that we call like aircraft. So one aircraft flying from Chennai to Bangalore. So another Indigo aircraft at the same time flying from Bangalore to Hyderabad. So the same time it's those aircraft is flying, right? So that time we are collecting the data through the sensors and storing at one place through the cloud. Okay, so after storing it, we have to process, right? So that is the process we used to call it as like a data analyst. After processing, what they will do normally, we have to uncompress the data, and based on some situations we have to analyze if some data is missed, some particular time is data could not able to store the data. So that is what data analyst will do. So normally, so they will analyze, they will predict the data. Based upon that, they will business peoples will take some decisions. So the normally data analyst, they will do analyze the data, they represent one format in terms of like Excel sheet or in terms of like that graphical format, in terms of like a chart format, any format they will represent, and they'll create a dashboard as well to better understanding, and they'll communicate like non-technical stakeholders. So when I say like non-technical stakeholders, in that connect many of people involved in that same meet, right? So they involves like management team, testing team, developers, architect team. So they will tell us why this particular data is collecting, why this particular data is fetching, based on some use cases, why this particular column could not able to collect it, why this particular timeline is missing. So those kind of things they will discuss. Developers, data analyst, it's a kind of like a developers, they will make them to understand to in terms of like business perspective. So this is the main task of like a data analyst. So the next one is like a skills. To become a data analyst, what are all the skills it is required? So I already discussed in my previous video itself, but anyhow I'm going to tell this video also. So the simple thing is like a programming languages required, so Python or R. But many of the industries from R to they'll move on to like Python language. It is better to learn like Python language. So along with that, you should have acquired in any of the data visualization tools. It could be like a PowerPoint or any other tools, and one framework is important called like a Spark or Pandas, NumPy. So these are all the frameworks. So along with the Python language, you should learn and adapt these framework as well. And along with that, SQL language is very important, because we have to fetch the data by using like subquery. So for that, we have to learn like SQL language. It could be like NoSQL or SQL based on our project requirement. So it would be like better to learn like both the languages, both the database management queries, to be like very easy. So and when it's come to like a growth, if you learn this, we have like immense opportunities, immense vacancies for like data analyst, even though if it is like freshers also. So freshers cannot apply directly for like data analyst role. They can apply only for like a junior data analyst role or some other data representative role. So after some time they can move to like directly data analyst role. So this is how the one fresher candidate or experienced people, they can move on to data analyst. The next one is like a data engineer. So it's a kind of like advanced thing when it's compared to like data analyst. So data engineers normally what they will do, they like developers, they'll do development, they'll do process the data, maintenance the architectures and storing the data. They will create a pipelines, all the advanced techniques in terms of like design perspective they will involve. So this is the main role of like data engineers. Data analyst only they will do like analyzing and they'll put their predictions to the other people, I mean like stakeholders. After that, data analysts basically they'll like designers, they'll create pipelines, they'll take some decisions according to that data. So that is what data engineers will do. So to become a data engineers, of course Python language is more important, but here this time advanced concepts is required, and along with that some machine learning concepts and statistical analysis knowledge and mathematics skill. So these are all important skill to become a data engineers. So now somewhat you get to know, right, the difference between data analyst and data engineers. The third one is like a data scientist. The name itself tells us it's like a scientist to discover something. So if data engineers, data analysts could not able to solve some particular problems, they will find some algorithms, they will discover some solutions to solve the business problems. So that is what data scientists will do. But it is like broader fields, they involves like very advanced technologies. They will work with both the data, structured data and unstructured data as well. When I say like a structured data or unstructured data, so after data analyst, they'll analyzing the data, they'll generate the report. So in that report we will see some results in the structured manner. So data analyst will produce the data in terms of like structured manner, but data scientists, they will work on like both the data. So those data will be like binary format. We have to uncompress the data, process the data. So through the pipeline we could able to generate the report. So this is how data scientist will do. And so what is, I already said, it is like mostly advanced concepts. So to become a data scientist, it requires deeper understanding of statistical analysis, deeper understanding of like mathematics skills and machine learning as well, and advanced concepts of like Python. So this is what you need to learn to become a data scientist. Yes, so now through this video you will get to know the difference between those three roles, correct? So yes, so now you can apply for those roles based upon your interest. Okay, this is what I want to tell you guys. So we will meet you on next video. Thank you so much.